Hey everybody, welcome back. For those of you new to the channel, I want to extend a welcome to you as well. And for those of you returning, it's good to see you all again. I intended to post a video over the weekend, but never really got a chance to. So my last one was on Friday, and looking forward to talking to you all again today. If you saw the title of the video, everybody is just tired. And I'm going to share my thoughts on this a little bit, and I want to see what some of your opinions are on this. But in the past on this channel, we've covered a lot of things about the ever-present push of hedonism in our society. And this video is not in particular about that, but this is offering that as one of the potential options to what I'm about to discuss. But the hedonism in our society that basically undermines and just chokes off anything of any meaning in our lives. And the ever-present push of that, especially towards the younger generations. And I know that many of you that are on the channel here, you have noticed that. I have as well. And it has created a sort of a situation where the young people don't really want to get married, settle down, have families, build a life or a future together. And understandably so, a lot of young men, a lot of older men now, myself included, are now avoiding legal marriage simply because the cost to benefit ratio just is not worth it. But this video is not really about that. It does address that as a possibility of why in the world we are having such a massive population decline. And this isn't just in the US. This is happening in Korea. This is happening in China, in Japan, in many other countries. Massive population decline due to the fact that people are no longer starting families. And I realize that some of this has to do with culture. Some of it has to do with the pushing of the hedonistic ideal that we don't really need to get together, have families, or do anything because everything should be completely, to some degree, self-centered. And I'm not knocking that or promoting or even challenging the self-centered part of that. I'm simply pointing it out as that is very strongly one of the parts of this problem. But one of the major issues that I think is going on here is that people are just tired. They're tired not just of the culture, they're tired of the economy. They're tired of the way the government is handling things, a government that is crushing everybody with the bad economic decisions that it's making, the incredibly terrible way that things are being run in pretty much almost every country, to where economically we're all in huge trouble. We are in crippling debt all over the place. And really it comes down to the point where I think, and this has been coming from multiple people that I've had conversations with and just stuff that I've observed recently, where I feel like everybody is avoiding having a family because they feel like they can't even afford to live themselves. They feel like the crippling debt and the lack of opportunity out there makes it impossible to even consider settling down into a family, having children, and attempting to build any form of a life together with anybody. That aside from what happens in divorce court and all of that, the possibility of even doing that, even if you did find somebody good, for most people is becoming something that is so far out of reach that it is breaking people mentally. And how many of you have noticed, just as much as maybe I have, that the amount of times that we get hit with ads talking about mental health, getting therapy, getting help with everything. And I have to say, every single time I hear this, and this is not a knock against in any way, shape, or form anybody that's receiving any help from that or getting any benefit from it. It is not a knock against that. But I end up thinking to myself, how much therapy would we all need if we had better opportunities, if we weren't getting crushed by our economy, by our culture, by everything that is going on out there, if our lives were allowed to get better and we weren't being choked to death, how many of us would even need therapy? Why would that be pushed so strongly? We need better lives, possibly, not better therapy. As I said before, I know that there are many of you that probably actually lean on therapists to get through the days. I completely understand that. Given everything that's going on out there, I can see why. People are breaking. They don't want to have children because they feel a sense of, and this is something I've been gathering from people, a sense of despair and hopelessness when they look at this situation. The scenario just isn't good in many, many places. There are even countries I've heard that Italy is actually trying to incentivize and encourage people to get married, have children, attempt to build some sort of family infrastructure that could build a structure of society that the government could then lean on. But even that's failing. It just isn't working anywhere. For those of you that are watching, I am curious, what are your thoughts? Are your thoughts that this is based out of the hedonism, the ultra hedonism, I would call it, that we've been having pushed on us for years, where people just essentially worship the idea of essentially leading a single life, even if you're in a committed relationship, leading a form of a single life? Or is it the bigger problem that we're talking about now that is actually way overtaking that? People don't even feel that, even if they could find somebody that they could trust, they don't feel the hope. They feel a soul-crushing despair where they want to avoid having a family. They don't want to see their children grow up and have less opportunity. They don't want to struggle to find a way to even get into a home, even with multiple incomes, just to feel like they are barely even able to afford raising their children and giving them the opportunities they want to see them have. I'm not going to make this video particularly long tonight, but I'm just curious what some of your thoughts are on this. What is your take? Do you think it's a combination of both? Do you think it leans heavily towards the hedonism damaging everything in society and destroying the moral underpinnings of everything, and that is part of it, or the major part of it? Or do you think just overwhelmingly overall people just feel like there isn't any hope out there to even attempt to do this? So in many ways, you could consider this a video with a poll wrapped up in it. Curious to see what you think in the comments. So love to hear from you on that. And I look forward to talking to you all again soon. I enjoy these deep conversations with you guys where I get to find out what everybody's thinking out there. Y'all have a good night.